Good morning, students. We have already started lesson number 5, separation of substances, and we have seen the different methods of separation of substances. Today we are going to see the different methods of substances: evaporation, magnetic separation, churning, we can say the centrifugation, separation using more than one method. Let us see about evaporation. We can obtain salt from sea water using evaporation method. Now the process of obtaining salt from sea water. Sea water contains a large amount of salt dissolved in it. One of these salts is a common salt. To obtain common salt from seawater, the water from the sea is collected in open shallow pits during high tides. When seawater is allowed to stand in shallow pits, water slowly turns into water vapors by absorbing the heat of the sun. This process is called evaporation. Slowly the whole of water evaporates, leaving behind the solid salts. These salts are then collected in a heap. Common salt is obtained from the mixture of salt by further purification. Another activity we can see: the common salt dissolved in water. Mix the salt and water together in one beaker. Here I have taken glass. Transfer the solution from the beaker to the porcelain disc kept in a sand bath. Heat the solution over the flame of a spirit lamp or gas burner with a constant stirring till water evaporate. Stop heating, cool the porcelain dish and observe the content. You are seeing the picture. The mixture of salt and water, evaporated dish, and so on. What is left in the dish? It is common salt, because after evaporating the water, the salt is left behind in the pan. The process of separating any salt from its solution by removing water is called evaporation process. It is defined as the process of conversion of water into vapor. This process is used to separate those mixtures in which one of the component is non-volatile. Now we will see the evaporation, already seen the condensation. Condensation is the conversion of water from the water vapor, that is the condensation. Here you can see in the picture, one kettle has been taken. Inside the kettle added some water and heat the kettle. You will see that the steam will come out from the kettle, and if we are collecting the steam on one of the lid, after cooling the steam, the vapor steam will convert into water droplets. In this manner we can convert the steam into water. The conversion of the steam into water is known as condensation. Another method is magnetic separation. The property of attraction towards the magnetic material is useful in the separation of those materials from other substances which are not attracted towards a magnet. Here we have done one experiment. We have taken the mixture of iron fillings and sand in one of the plate. If we are mixing this iron filling in a sand, and if you bring the magnet towards this mixture, what you will observe? You will observe that the iron fillings will get attracted towards the magnet and the sand will left behind in the dish. The magnet picks out only iron fillings from the sand. Thus the components of the mixture are separated. In this manner we can separate the iron fillings and sand separately. This process is known as magnetic separation. In our day-to-day home, what your mummy is doing? The churning process. She is separating the butter from the buttermilk using churning process. This churning process is also one method of separation. This we can say for this is centrifugation also. Churning of curd leads to the separation of butter as the upper layer and the lower layer is obtained as a buttermilk. Thus, the lighter particles of the suspended solid can be separated from the liquid using this technique, which is also known as centrifugation. The process of centrifugation is widely used in dairies to separate cream from milk. Milk is rotated at a very fast speed in a closed container. Cream collects in the center and being lighter than the milk floats at the top of the mixture. This process of centrifugation is also used to remove dirt from clothes in a washing machine. We have learned about the separation of mixtures that contains only two components. A mixture has more than two components requires a combination of several methods of separation. In such a condition, we need to use more than one of this method. For example, we have a mixture of salt, water and sand. What we do? The sand will get settled bottom in the container and slowly we can decant the solution of the salt and water slowly. Now the next step is to obtain the salt and water from the decanted salt solution. Since water evaporates on heating, we can use the evaporation for this step. The common salt which we get from seawater is an impure salt. It is purified by using various methods. The impure sample is crushed, dissolved in water, filtered, evaporated and then crystallized to get common salt free from impurities. Now let us see how to prepare the saturated solution. We require a beaker or a small pan, a spoon, salt and water. Pour half a cup of water in the beaker, add 1 teaspoon of salt and stir it well until the salt dissolves completely. Again add a teaspoonful of salt and stir well. Go on adding continuously a spoonful of salt at a time. After adding a few spoons of salt, we will find some salt remains undissolved and settles at the bottom. Yes, this means that no more salt can be dissolved in the amount of water we can take in the solution. Now we have got this solution is a saturated solution. How to prepare saturation solution, we have seen that. And what is the effect of heat on saturated solution? Divide the above prepared saturated solution into two equal parts. Start to heat one part of the saturated solution. Simultaneously refrigerate the second part of the saturated solution. What you will see the changes. You will see the larger quantity of salt can be dissolved in water on heating. In this lesson, we have seen the different methods of separation of substances. We have seen pure substances and mixtures. Need for separation. Methods of separation, for example, hand picking, threshing, sieving, winnowing, sedimentation and decantation, loading, filtration, evaporation, condensation, magnetic separation, separation using more than one method. These things we have seen in this lesson. Thank you.